Welcome. Big thank you to Wellcome Trust for hosting us again. Does anyone not know what Missing Maps is? Oh, I knew this day would come. Okay, so I'm gonna skip that bit and just tell you about a particular project that happened, well, a particular occurrence that happened recently. So most of you will know there's a team in South Kivu in Congo called the Emergency Response Unit. It's MSF's kind of go-to guys for going and conducting interventions in rural places or hard to reach places. 2 weeks ago they got in touch to ask if there was any chance that we could map this island here, which is Ijwi in Congo, in 3 or 4 days. So there's a measles outbreak on the island. They wanted to go and conduct a vaccination campaign, and so they asked if it could be done really quick. Luckily for us, there was 2 mapathons planned for the next few days. One in Glasgow, where we did a slither of it, and then a huge Belgian mapathon involving over 200 students and OSM types and other people, and we asked them nicely if they changed from their original task to the Ijwi task, and they very graciously said yes. And then they nailed this one in the morning and did the other one in the afternoon. So this was really cool because the team they were asking just on the off chance, and we were able to deliver on mapping the whole of the island at the building level. So important thing for measles vaccination is you need to get about 95% coverage to stop the outbreak spreading. The only way you can know what your coverage is by knowing what the population number is and how many people you vaccinated. So without those 2 bits of information, you really can't get a proper coverage assessment. So by mapping the buildings, we can get a population estimate, and they are able to do that. And they are now doing the vaccination campaign using the map to start with to identify where population clusters are, and then they'll use the numbers taken from the building data to do the coverage survey. So I will just show you an actual map that went to the field. So this is Ijwi, and in here you can see there's different colours for different densities of areas. So each area I think is 100 metres squared, and with each one of those boxes is a number, and that's the number of buildings. So they can now use this to do 2 different bits of the vaccination campaign, and we were able to deliver it really, really quickly, which is super cool. And Jorieke was there in one of the universities, spearheading the effort. So just very short from me today, just to show you a concrete example of how this stuff is used and how it's used almost immediately. You guys in this room will be mapping a different bit of South Kivu today for exactly the same reason: future outbreaks, future population movements. So you're doing the same sort of stuff as that. But now, Jorieke is going to come and have a few words with you. She's been working with a number of other people on a project called Mapfugees, which she's going to tell you about.
Okay, so hello, I'm Jorieke, and I'm part of the Humanitarian Overstreetment team, and accidentally I'm today in London, so I can stay for an hour or so. So yeah, I want to be here. For me, it's the first time at a London mapathon like this, so I'm pretty happy to see all this. And Pete asked me to show you a bit about the little project we are doing, the Mapfugees. I thought, Robert, where is he? Next to you. You've always also been there. I will show you the map. The Mapfugees are a little project to map the refugee camps in the north of France. I don't know if you know a bit, it's refugee crisis, and a lot of refugees want to come here. So I'm pretty lucky I can just take the train, but a lot of people can't take the train and are having... Okay, got it. And so they are staying and waiting in camps in the north of France, and they're just there in circumstances which are not always really pretty nice, to wait, and they try almost every night to go on trucks on different kind of ways to reach the UK because life is pretty uneasy here for people. These are refugees, most of all coming from Syria and Iraq and Iran, mostly Kurdish people, and they're very nice. And so they're living in kind of refugee camps. There are two big refugee camps in the north of France. There's one in Calais, and there's one in Dunkirk. The the project was till now was in Dunkirk. Actually, there is the situation improved last winter, because before they were really in an informal camp, and now this informal camp, there was so much mud, there was cold, people were really living in tents, like, I don't know, probably you saw some images on television or something. It was terrible. So Doctors Without Borders took action, and they built an actual camp with like little wooden shelters where people can live in a human way, we would say. And of course, these kind of camps are not on the map, and it would be good for the organization and also for the refugees to put them on the map. So that's what we did. So yeah, London is here. Yeah, and Belgium is here where I live. And Dunkirk is just here. So it's so close. And I show you the map. What we did. There he comes. Yeah. So this is what we did. Here is the entrance of the camp. And we taught a few interested refugees how to map. So they mapped, in fact, their own camp, their own living environment. So the organization in charge can use it for the management, but also for their own, because it's pretty difficult environment. It's in between the highway and the railway, so it's really close, and people are crossing the highway because they don't know the right road. They will want to take buses to the city center. So it's pretty dangerous with the highway and the railroads there. So also for that way, like for example, this little road we put on the map to reach the bus stop, which is here. They put also on the map and so on. So it's a little bit of a community mapping project. So these are all the little shelters. I can show you some pictures of it too. They will So this is the map you just saw, but we also made a kind of overlay of these are the safe roads to walk. And these are the results, the first results in the camp. Yeah, if you want, you can have a look on the blog. So this is we are mapping with the refugees. This was a good guy. He's a good guy. So yeah, I think we also have some pictures of the shelters itself. Yeah, like, so this is the camp, how it is now. So little wooden shelters where people have a roof above their head. So this is a kind of humanitarian project close to home we do with the mapping, and in fact we are open to have volunteers. So if you're interested to go there and to maintain the mapping, because a lot of things are changing. It's building. There are more people coming. There are more people. They're building attached things to the houses. The camp is growing, in fact, so it changes every day. So we plan to do regular updates and to create a little real mapping community over there too. So it was more than 5 minutes. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.